Hello again, and welcome to another Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society Museum vehicle restoration video. Been taking advantage of this unseasonably warm October and coming out here and really getting some work done on the Model T the last couple of weeks. You might see it kind of peeking there, but the really exciting news is that the engine came back this week. Picked up the engine last Thursday. Had a day off of work on Friday, so we got it in the car. Since we are running a 1923 engine with a starter, I had to make a slight modification to our firewall to clear the starter, because this early style firewall doesn't quite work with the starter. And then you can kind of see that we made a lot of progress on the body. So let's kind of walk over here. We're going to take a look at so there's your Model T engine. There's the starter down there. We had to clearance that firewall a little bit. So I've got the water outlets, got those sandblasted and painted. The gaskets are en route right now, along with some other stuff that we need to put the fan back together. So we got all the parts for the fan sandblasted and painted and hanging up over there. And there's just some waiting on a couple of bits and pieces, and hopefully we can get the fan in. I ordered a timer for it. When he ran it on the dyno, he ran it with a distributor, and we're going to go with the original coils and a timer unit. So I ordered a new timer, and that's all of that stuff is coming from Snyder's and various other locations. Hopefully will arrive sometime this week, and I can get some of this stuff put back together. And I can also get the front radius arms put back on, because I ordered a new radius arm attachment, the one that goes on the bottom of the oil pan, because that was just worn out. So I got a new one coming, and I can get this radius arm over here off the floor and onto the car. I got that. I already had the starter wires and switch, so I got the starter wire, battery wires and starter wires all put in. I'm not going to put the hoses or anything in yet, because this radiator is going to come back off, but all that stuff is here. But for the moment, this radiator shell is probably going to come back off at least one or two more times as we get ready to do the paint work. And I got to put the crank in too, and that'll be much easier with the radiator out of the way. So I just kind of have the radiator kind of held in with finger tight, just to keep it, because I figure if it's on the car, it's safer than if it's sitting on the floor and where it'll tip, get knocked over, or I'll kick it or some kind of nonsense like that. So you can see we have to make a couple of modifications to my floor design, because I failed to take into account where the rise in this transmission is at. So this is going to have to be redesigned a little bit, but that was always, because I really did not like the driver's seat, so that was always kind of going to be redesigned anyway. So I've kind of got the top part of the driver's seat mocked up here with some clamps. You can get in and out of the car a lot easier with the way I changed it. It's still a very tight, but that's mainly because I'm overweight, and I freely admit that. So I think if I lost a couple pounds, I'll probably be able to fit in there. I guess it's a common problem with Model Ts. I've seen some things online where people actually shorten that steering column about 4 inches so that they can they can drive it easier. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I think more likely I just need to go on a diet before I can drive this car. So as you can see, bed is shaping up. I got the lazy backs rigged in. I've got my I saw this online the other day, the CAD, cardboard assisted design fenders. In the pictures, the vehicle I'm copying had just very simple rear splash shields in the back. So kind of fabbed those up out of cardboard, figured out where they're going to mount, and then I just got to get some steel cut and get those put in. We had to do some real reinforcing down here because this bed, it just spread out too much if you put any weight in it. So I ended up redesigning these the uprights. They go down farther. They tie into the frame. I made, I think in the last video, I showed you the piece of metal that I found in my dad's shop. So that's been cut. Put the bend in it. It mounts here, and then back here we put this cross brace in to keep the hold, make that a little stronger. The bed's looking really good. Again, you got the seats and the lazy back. I got these bows from Hanson's Wagon. These were the widest ones they made. They're a little bit too narrow, so I'm trying to figure out if I can either get them to stretch a little bit and they'll be kind of a teardrop shape, or if I want to just kind of section them and graft a piece of wood in and make them about 1.5 to 2 inches wider, which would probably be the easier way to do this. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm still thinking about it. I want to get this bed put together so that I have all the dimensions locked in, and then I'll figure that out. And then I also have to figure out the top, because the vehicle that I'm copying did have an awning over the driver. So that's gonna play in as well as how that's gonna get designed. It's hard to tell in the picture of the vehicle because it has a canvas top on it. You really can't see what the structure looks like. So we started tonight. I was working on the tailgate. The vehicle that I'm copying, the tailgate went all the way up to the top, and then when it folded down, there was a step down here. Actually, two of the vehicles that I have that are photographed from the back with the tailgates down clearly show that they had a step down here to make it easier to get in and out. So that is the next thing, is I need to make the upper part of this tailgate. It's going to come all the way up here to the top, and then there's going to be some sort of step. And I can't, in the pictures it looks like it may have been fixed. Well, actually, in the one it looks like it may have been like a fold-out thing, and on the other one it looked like it was fixed. And we're probably going to make it a fixed step, just to keep it simple. So we got that. So this is what I just finished. Unfortunately, you can already see that this body splayed a little bit on me, but I'm just going to have to live with that. I'm going to try and I might put a ratchet strap on it, try to pull it back tight, and then adjust some of these bolts down here and see if I can close that gap up a little bit. Because on this side, this one here is perfect. This one's nice and square, and the passenger side drifted a little bit on me. This was the first side I did, and I had some design issues, and then when I did this side I had the updated design and it seems to have worked better. But this one here moved a bit on me, so we'll see if we can adjust that. Got these cool wagon gate hardware from Hanson's Wagons as well. I thought in the pictures that these laid flat, but they don't. So I don't know if they're going to work the way I wanted them to work, but we'll figure it out. I do like these though. These are kind of cool. They got that nice vintage look. So we'll figure it out. We'll play around with it. I think what I might try to do is heat these and bend these up a little bit so that they sit flat on the surface. But again, the joys of fabricating something like this is that you're always messing around and trying to make it better and trying to fix it. So hold on one second. So I figured I'd let you see the other side of the engine. When Charlie rebuilt this, he ended up using the Z head on it because I guess the head that I gave him was no good. And it's got a new manifold on it because the ones, I guess both manifolds I gave him were cracked. But you got the carburetor, there's your throttle linkage, generator over here all rebuilt. It's your mixture. So I got to put there's a rod that goes from here. I got to put a hole here in this firewall for that rod to come through where you can adjust the mixture. And then I got to get the spark plug wires and all the wiring and all the other stuff. And then I still have to figure out what I want to do with this cowl, which I keep putting off because it's kind of, I don't know how to proceed with this yet. But I think it'll end up being kind of like with the bed. You know, I sat here and looked at it for a couple of days, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's how I'm going to do it. So I just haven't reached that point with this part of the car yet. So that'll be next. So, but right now I just want to try and get this bed as far along as I can, and it's coming along really nicely. There's another angle on my toolbox in there. So just to give you another, you know, and then so the next big thing is going to be figuring out the driver's seat. I got to fix this so that the floor will drop in correctly, and then redesign this driver's seat. But I think right now I'm in the right direction with where I want to go with it. So that's kind of where we're at with the Model T. It's supposed to be unseasonably warm for like the next 2 weeks. So maybe I'll be able to get some more work done. Hopefully maybe this week I can go out and get the steel cut and make the 2 fenders and get those put on and just keep plugging away at it. And the way we're going, this may actually be done next year. I don't know if it's going to be done in time for like the Memorial Day parade, or even if it is, I don't know if I'll be comfortable driving it at that point. I want to, you know, get some seat time and learn how to drive a Model T before I go on a parade and where there's a lot of people. So I guess with that, we're going to kind of wrap it up for the night. And again, if you're in the Detroit metro area, stop by the museum. We're in East Point, just off Gratiot Avenue at Stevens, which is 9.5 miles for those of you in the area. And again, you know, if you want to help us out and keep these projects rolling, you can always donate at MIMTHS at MIMTHS.org via PayPal, or there's a number of links on our museum website. You know, just write in there that you want that money to go toward the vehicle restoration project, or you can say specifically you want it to go towards the Model T, and I would greatly appreciate it because yeah, all this hardwood was not cheap, and having this engine rebuilt was not exactly inexpensive either. So, but it was worth it. It looks great. They had it on the dyno. It was pulling 27 horsepower. So, you know, it's a real hot rod motor, I guess. But yeah, it sounded good in the video he sent me of it running on the dyno, and I can't wait to hear it running in the car. So, but we got a lot of stuff we need to do. We got to get the exhaust system. Still have to buy that. We have to buy the plug wires. We have to buy the wiring harness. I got to get 4 coils. I have coils, but they all need to be rebuilt. So we got to get the coils done, you know, wiring done, the rest of the fuel system put in. So there's a lot of work still, and there's a lot of parts we need to get, and you know, a lot of money. So please, if you got, you know, coming up on the end of the year, and you want to do a charitable donation, you know, all of our stuff, all of our information is on the website, MIMTHS.org. So with that, I'm going to let you all go, and maybe I'll shoot another one of these in next week if the weather stays good and I get some more work done. So, all right, y'all have a good night.